Ryan Anderson's whole thing when he was on the show was that I'm not an underwear Olympics guy. I'm not a height weight guy, but I dominated the SEC. Trust me on this. And Jonathan Allen was his teammate. The two Alabama boys come to the Redskins, and their coach up front is going to be Jim Tomsula, the old 49ers head coach who took a year off of football. He's back. Jimmy T's got these two guys, and they're both angry. People passed on him in the draft. And then you add in Greg Minuski as a defensive coordinator. I think these two picks, and with Moreau added in as well, the Redskins, they're gearing up for those Cowboys for the next few years. Like, they know that the Giants are going to have now Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram. This Redskins defense suddenly gets a lot more interesting. Look at all the defense they drafted.
They were 28th ranked defense last season.
Allen goes 17th. Allen was thought to be maybe the third overall pick in this draft. Now, shoulder issues were what knocked him down a bit, but Allen, Anderson, Moreau, Monte Nicholson, he was a talented player where he was at. And then you get two other guys here in Harvey Clemens and Holsley. This was a clear message to the rest of the division. We know that we were a pass-happy team with Cousins and McVay and all this stuff. We are going to be a defensive team in the years coming, and you better reckon with those guys.
Yeah, I actually love what Philly did for some of the same reasons. Let's give credit to Howie Roseman, friend of the show. You know, I think there's a push always when you have a young quarterback. Just give him everything. Make all the draft about him. They took care of Carson Wentz in free agency. They got him those receivers. They went out and got themselves a bad dude in Derek Barnett from Tennessee because, okay, it's great to support your own quarterback. We got to hit Dak. We have to hit Eli. We got to hit Cousins. We need to your point, Peter, about that team, we need to bring the defense. And then also, I love the Sidney Jones pick, the guy who got injured, tore his Achilles, because value down the road. And first person story, I'm up on stage with Scott Hansen on Saturday in front of all those Eagles fans and everything like that. And they have this kid, this little boy, he's probably 7 or 8 years old, come out to announce the Eagles pick, their 4th-round pick. And as he's standing there, Scott Hansen says to the crowd, "What position do you want him to say?" And all these people, he's just saying, running back, running back. They're screaming at the kid, "Pick a running back," as if he's making the pick. And sure enough, the kid, his hands are shaking. He says, "Donnell Pumphrey, running back, San Diego State." They go, yeah! They went nuts. And this Donnell Pumphrey, I know why Roseman likes him, because he's 5'8", 176. He looks like Darren Sproles. There are 2 people in FBS history to run for more yards, and that's the Dane train, Ron Dane, and Tony Dorsett. So I love the pick. I love what Roseman did, but starting with that bad dude at the top, Derek Barnett.
Yeah, it seems like this division, they're really focused on defense. Dallas did the same thing. They had a need at the cornerback position, went out and got a ton of quarterbacks. But when you look at every team within this division, 33 picks overall in the draft, 20 of them were defense. So they're trying to send a message, not just to each other, I think to the league, that they're getting back to, let's stop some teams instead of going out there and have to outscore teams, and that's old school football.
We also hung out with Scott Hansen, Peter. You weren't there, and I told Nate, I said, whatever we do, if we don't know this crowd, just don't say anything about the Cowboys. We get out there within. Did you see this?
I watched from the crowd.
It was low-key my favorite moment of the entire weekend.
Don't challenge
We're
Rose.
talking about, like, things that, he was not scared of this crowd. I'm terrified. I'm like, go Eagles!
What did he do?
They're asking me questions about the division. I was talking about Dallas Cowboys and everything that they have.
He starts talking about the Cowboys.
And then they're booing me, and then Kay comes up to me.
They got Dak Prescott. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know him.
With the microphone live, she was like, "Nate, I told you not to rile these fans up." And I turned to the crowd, I was like, "I'm not scared of you Eagles fans." It was a hilarious moment. I was just giving them a little bit of trash talk back.
Terrified.
I loved it. Come on, I played in front of them, and I scored touchdowns there.
They talked up the Cowboys case? Shocking. Shocking.
It was unbelievable.
I learned from you guys. I came up after. It was all Derek Barnett, Eagles, everybody.
Oh, I heard you.
I know, I saw it. Because I learned from you.
Kyle became a Derek Barnett expert.
Yes, absolutely. I was just on my phone backstage. Where did he go?
We walked off stage as Kyle walked on, and it was as if he was doing stand-up, Peter. He grabs the mic and he's like, "I love what those Eagles did. How about those Eagles? Derek Barnett."
He's like, "Bring out the watermelons."
Why wasn't I
Gallagher! Hey, what is this thing on? Right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Speaking of flying, I just flew in. Boy, my arm's tired. Good crowd out there. You an audience or an oil painting?
That's exactly what it was. I made the wrong move over here.
The brick wall behind you?
Dak Prescott.
Shepherd's hook. Get off.